This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. What can I get for you?
I'm sick and tired of reality TV. It's so repetitive. Can you fake reality TV and give me one of those?
Pull up to the second window and we'll see you next crime.
Welcome to True Crime to Go. I am John here with Jamie. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Are there any reality shows you have watched for years and years?
There's really not.
Like, I got out on Survivor after like 3 years, never really got into Big Brother. Real World.
Would you call like Live Police a reality show because it's real?
I don't think
it's the most real of any reality show.
It's probably in the genre, but it's not in what we're talking about today. Like competitions and things like that, or following a family that has all these made up scenarios going on in their lives. And yeah, I tire of them quickly. So
to put it in perspective, Jamie, the last one I would probably say that I watched continuously was either Road Rules or Real World on MTV.
Yeah, I was in on, I don't know, all the talent ones I get in on for a little bit. So I watched American Idol for a while.
Oh yeah, I did that one too. I didn't know if that
Sing Off
counted
was
or
great.
not.
I think so. But what we're talking about today is somebody who took advantage of the attention that all these got. So why don't you go ahead and get us rolling?
Yeah, this is going to hit especially hard for the fans of reality TV because in 2009, there was a group of women that thought they were about to become stars on a new version of Big Brother. This was in Turkey. Instead, they found themselves trapped in a fake house, held captive, and exploited. That still sounds interesting. Did they make it into a show?
That's a great point. It's almost like a Saw movie that trapped people in a Big Brother house.
Oh my God, yes. It's like Real World Saw.
Okay, let's stop brainstorming here and save those ideas for Left on Dead.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. Big Brother has been a global television juggernaut since it first aired in Denmark in 1999. I did not know that it started there. I just assumed it was an American show, but the premise was simple and addictive. Housemates live under 24/7 surveillance, completely cut off from the outside world, and they compete against each other to win a cash prize. And as reality TV exploded in popularity around the world, the Big Brother format was replicated in dozens of countries. Turkey, America, Americans still love the show. But that's when, in 2009, things were going down with the Turkish version of the show.
Yeah, they saw an ad advertising looking for contestants for this, but it wasn't real. This was a trap. 9 women responded to that ad, and they were told they'd been chosen to be a star of a major television production. For some of them, it was like a ticket to fame. They were going to get rich and famous off of this. One of them was even a teenager. At least a few of the women were models hailing from Italia to Izmir. So they were from all over, and they each signed a contract. One that said that they would have no contact with the outside world, no phones, no letters, no emails. And if they violated that rule, they'd be fined 50,000 Turkish lira, which is about 8,700 American dollars back in 2009. At first, this seemed normal. It seemed like real Big Brother conditions. And now that you say it out loud, it sounds like a trap. Big Brother sounds like a trap, right? So they realized that this was no reality show.
The women were taken to a villa in Istanbul and kept under constant surveillance. There were cameras, there was staging, but there were no producers, no crew, no contracts with any real network. This, to be clear, was not a show. And when the women tried to leave, they were told they'd owe thousands of dollars if they did, and the threats would escalate from there. The women were held up against their will for 2 months. According to one mother, the women weren't physically abused or sexually assaulted, but they were forced to wear bikinis, dance by the pool, and to even physically fight each other, all for the captors' cameras. So these videos and photos were then reportedly sold online. The women had unknowingly become part of a dark criminal enterprise that was featured on the dark web.
Yeah, I just assume this is classic dark web stuff here. As the week drags on, the family started getting worried. They knew they weren't going to have contact, but they also hadn't heard anything else about the show. Some of them tried to reach their loved ones. They called networks, couldn't get any response, called any numbers they had, but they were getting ghosted. Eventually, one of the captive women managed to get a message out. She contacted a family member begging for help, and that was the turning point. They quickly went to Turkish police, and they acted swiftly. They raided the villa. The women cried out to the military police for help, and after 2 months of fear, manipulation, and captivity, these women were finally free from this nightmare.
And that's when justice is brought. So 4 suspects were arrested shortly after the raid. Their identities were not made public at the time, but authorities believed one of them to be the ringleader, the person responsible for selling those private images online. And it wasn't clear how long the scheme had been running or if there were other victims that might have been involved, but it was clear that the women in this villa were lured into a carefully constructed lie, one that exploited their hopes for fame. And let's not forget the emotional toil that this would have. I mean, one mother told reporters, quote, "We are not after the money, but we thought our daughter could have had the chance to become famous if she took the part in the contest. But this was all just a dupe." And yeah, this has to be traumatic psychologically because you go in under one pretense and then you learn this is not what I signed up for.
It's not. And, this is what scammers do. And scams are getting more and more sophisticated. You and I have talked about some we've seen in our personal lives with people around us recently. People find something that is appealing to you or something that is fearful to you, and they capitalize on it. And that's what happened here. They promised fame and money, and they delivered a kidnapping. So just very thankful these women found a way out, John. I don't know. I mean, what happens if they're not able to get that message out? How long do they keep them there? What eventually do they make them do? I imagine these videos they're selling of girls fighting in bikinis is only going to appease a crowd for so long, and you're going to have to up the ante. So this could have gotten darker and darker, and I have to wonder if it has for other people.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know the full extent of the plans. I mean, yeah, if they hadn't have been able to get the message out, it could have very easily escalated to, okay, well, I'm bored of this. Now let's ramp it up. And these women could have been physically or sexually assaulted. I mean, yeah, I'm so glad they got out before it got worse.
We couldn't find sentences on any of this. Again, this all went down in 2009, but this was in Turkey, and their legal websites aren't as easy for me to find things. So couldn't find sentences, but I hope they were hefty and it deters people from trying this again all over the world, because this is a scary scam. If somebody called me and said, we'll give you $10 million to be on this reality show, I would at least listen.
Yeah, the older I get, the less I like being around people. I don't know if 10 million would be enough for me to hang out with some of the characters that would be on the show.
But then you're only interacting with like 10 people.
Ever, I know, but I bet I hate them so much.
All 10 of them. You're definitely right about that. But yeah, this is a scary one that I think most people would think would never happen to them, but it did happen to somebody. And it gave us some true crime to go material, a crime story in 10 minutes or less.
Would you like crime with that?
You've listened to True Crimecast, distributed by Stoveleg Media. Check out stoveleg.com to find out more about your hosts and to find other podcasts to listen to. Stoveleg Media, igniting conversation.